Thank you for tuning in to Critical Hit Points. I'm your host, Mr. Wright, and to my left is Mad Max,
Yo, 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 yo.
and to my right is Seeker.
Hello, I'm in a Temple of Doom, the podcast host out of Mr. Right today.
Hey, wait, hold!
Wait,
That was
hold
not
on.
part of the plan.
You threw a curveball out there right off the bat.
So, first thing of discussion, very quickly. 40 of my cards have showed up for my Digimon deck.
So we get an update.
Yeah, there's an update to my Digimon deck. 40 of my cards have showed up. The other 10, I don't know. They're in limbo.
Oh, shit.
Black
Alrighty.
hold.
What's up?
They've been black hold.
Well, no, what actually probably happened is the place I bought them from was from the East Coast, and they just recently had in the Midwest a big storm. So it probably got
Perfect.
delayed in the weather, and I just didn't get informed of it, so I'm just assuming that's what it is.
It's already dating this episode. Don't worry, I'm going to do that even worse.
This day is, look, brother, I date all of these in the description. Everyone's going to know when these are recorded. Brother, we dated ourselves talking about the Fallout show, the first episode we did.
You know what? You are so right.
Oh, speaking of the Fallout show, season finale
God.
came out Tuesday. For some reason, it came
What?
early.
What? Why?
I could not tell you why it dropped early.
Intern hit wrong button.
Before we have our discussion, which for those who cannot tell from the title, today is the Foxhole episode, so that's going to be a fun conversation.
Yep.
But what is our prediction for the finale of this show? As you guys have not seen it, I have not seen it. I have some spoilers showed to me, so I'll keep that to myself. But what's your prediction? Let's start off with Mad Max. What's your prediction?
Total shit. Like total epic, just dog shit. Because after the last episode, I almost died crying.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You watched it without us, huh? You had to
I
watch it
did,
on your
and it
own
was
time.
it was
hold up.
really hard.
Hold up. Where's my phone? I think I still have the text you sent me. We're gonna
Bro,
go a little pre-ramble here. All right, let me have this moment. Don't worry. You'll get your time. So
I'm fine because I know once I start, it's like a train. There's no stopping.
Precisely.
There's no stopping Eli.
Spoilers for
Secret.
like episode 7 if somehow you haven't seen it yet. So they find a suit with NCR power armor. LOL. I'm assuming that's an older model, right? Somehow the NCR just leaves a valuable asset like power armor behind. Let's see
Yep.
here. Oh, not
think-
just the power armor, a bunch of ammo and weapons. I guess it was right next door to this town that's been there for a while and no one has looted it. Hold up, where is it? Did they just find ammunition? It had a bunch of guns. My god, it just gets worse and worse. Looks like the NCR power armor is modified different, has blades. Isn't supposed to be an obsolete version. I mean, technically speaking, it is T45, as it should have been T45. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's T60, but it should have been T45. And then, oh yeah, that twist at the end with the senator's head in a jar. What?
Bro, I did not get that at all. Like when I saw the senator's head in the jar, I literally went blank. I'm not kidding. Like the world went blank. White screened. I go,
Excuse me?
I go, how, why, and I still can't even rationalize it. It's just so fucking bad.
All right, I will.
It's so bad.
I will be the show defender for a moment before we get over to Seeker's idea what's going to happen in the next episode and my own ideas. In
Yeah.
Fallout Tactics, which is a uncanonized game that is okay at best, not the best game they've made. There's a thing called the calculator. The calculator.
I know where this is
The
going.
calculator
my
was
God.
a pre-war AI that was built and made to be a sort of hub of all the information from all the different experiments.
Okay.
Now, as it looked to Vault Tech and to America that the bombs weren't going to get dropped, they decided to can the project.
Okay.
But before they canned it, there was someone's head or brain just in a liquid like Bacta tank from Star Wars. That brain was left there, and so were a lot of other people's brains because they remove their brains and put them in computers. Yeah, spoiler
For
alert:
sh-
the calculator isn't an AI; it's a human brain forced to do calculations until it dies.
yeah. But didn't they have that in season 1 with that little fucking brain dude that
No,
didn't want to
this
wake
is
anyone
okay.
up?
So yes, they did, but no, they didn't. That's the lobotomite. There's a whole different category of like machine controlled by
Whoa.
a brain versus the calculator or versus what she was, which is something that is controlling other people. Uh, it was bad. Let's put it that way. Seeker, what are
Hey,
your
wait.
predictions? Oh, what's up?
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, real quick. Wasn't in if I remember, her head wasn't even like in a jar or
Yeah, I'm not
anything
sure
to
how
keep
her
it
head was
preserved.
alive. I'm gonna be honest here.
It was literally just on a table with shit stuck into her,
Yeah,
and it was just like,
look, man. I am just fully convinced that in this Fallout show, no one dies of old age because no one ages apparently.
okay.
Moldaver's 200 plus years old. The head has either been there for a long time or hasn't been there until he got there. That he decapitated her and put her on that. But why were there things to keep the brain? Like, there's so many problems with that
So
scene.
many. And then why her? I just
Oh,
don't
because
understand.
she's passive. She's
Oh God.
passive and she's
Okay.
simple. She does what she's
Yeah.
told. She
Yeah.
doesn't fight. She's not
Yeah.
aggressive. She was the perfect model citizen, so to speak.
So this is a perfect opportunity to tell everyone that's listening to the podcast that don't watch this piece of garbage of a
No,
show and go
no,
watch
no.
Seven Kingdoms,
Okay, we haven't.
which
No,
is
no,
just
no. We only watched one episode of that. We can't say it's good yet.
Oh,
it's
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 it's good.
I've
It's
seen
good.
the three.
Fuck
Yeah,
you guys.
thank you, Seeker. Thank you. It's good.
All right, so Seeker,
To
what
be fair,
is? Oh,
none of it has been my idea. I had just been in the room when it was turned on.
so Seeker, what is your prediction for the Fallout show?
All right, my prediction: we have to have a big fight at the end of the season. We have to have like a come to fight moment, right?
Okay, that's gonna be Maximus, obviously with the death clause.
So we're
Yes.
gonna have Maximus, and I kind of had a spoiler that I'm going to avoid talking about.
Okay.
Um,
Was it the
from
same
the
one I
weirdest
had?
places of all places. No, it was actually from the Fallout Shelter mobile game.
What?
I
Okay.
I stumbled onto an ad. It was some promotional material for it. I have not played that game for
Years.
3+ years
Yeah.
now, at minimum. I think I booted it up like once 3 years ago and then turned it off again. Uh, but I played it when it came out, and then I haven't touched it really since then. But I saw some promotional material that I'm looking at, or that I looked at, and I was like,
Can you send
"There's
it to
no
me?
way that's the end of the show, right?"
Can you just message me
And
what you saw? I wanna compare it to what I had
Curious.
seen. Because frankly, I don't care if the
yeah,
show gets spoiled.
uh,
But outside of that, what do you think's gonna happen then? Like obviously a big fight with Maximus.
s-
Is Maximus gonna
so
live? Is Maximus gonna die?
I think Maximus is gonna live and everything. I think what's
Yeah.
gonna happen is, uh, the Ghoul, Maximus, and Losi are going to fight the mind controlled the lobotomites.
The lobotomite has
Uh,
returned.
I think they're gonna fight the lobotomites. I think there's gonna be something that like Lucy's dad is like, all right, I'm gonna turn the lobotomites into kill mode now, and then they're gonna go kill.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I will
And that's
give.
gonna be the big
All right.
finale. Is
I'm
Lucy,
gonna
the
give.
ghoul, and Maximus are gonna go fight a bunch of lobotomites.
My prediction is gonna be this, and I think I'm onto something when I do this. I think House is not gonna die. I think Maximus is gonna live, but I don't know why. I know his buddy with his arm missing is gonna have like a rifle, so maybe at like the last fight with the Death Claw, he's gonna sniper it to death, and that's how Maximus
Oh
is gonna
no,
live
that's
the
right.
impossible odds. What else is there? So that's my first prediction: is Maximus is gonna live through the Death Claw fight because of his buddy sniping like the last kill or something. Um, Lucy is gonna fail to bring Hank to justice, whether it be she kills him, whether it be he kills himself, whatever it may be, she's gonna fail somehow from stopping Hank. Uh,
Yes.
let's see, what else do I want to predict? Something for the ghoul. I need something for the ghoul. Um,
He's not going to get his family back.
No, I feel like the ghoul is gonna get to this vault, and A, B, or C reason they're not gonna be there.
No.
And I'm gonna make that's gonna be my first prediction for the ghoul. House is gonna live. Oh, what do I say for Norman? Which I think is that the kid's name, the thin, frail kid from the vault that's
Yeah,
like
it's
leading.
Norman.
Okay.
Also, I was wrong. I actually didn't even see the full image. I only saw the half image.
All right. I'm gonna say Norman is gonna live and get his baddie girl, and somehow they're gonna either sneak out or get out of that. That's a really funny image. They're
Oh my
gonna.
god, that is funny.
By the way, for those on the YouTube, this will be shown to you because that's a funny ass image. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
That one.
that like I don't know what context it even showed up as, but I saw that and I was like, oh, so that's how the show's gonna end.
All right.
Dude,
So
Max doesn't even look like Max.
so, so
Yeah.
my final prediction. So House doesn't get killed. Max wins, gets saved by his buddy. Lucy's gonna fail to stop Hank somehow. Ghoul's gonna find that his family is gone. Now, whether they're dead
Yeah.
or whether they're whatever it may be, they're not gonna be where he thinks they're at. I want to make one more bold ass claim, and that
Okay.
claim is gonna be that the Enclave somehow is going to be responsible for the fall of the strip. They've been setting up the Enclave a lot, like a lot. So I have a sinking suspicion that despite getting blown up in Fallout 2, despite being blown up in Fallout 3, they're somehow just still alive. They can't be killed apparently. The Enclave is internal. I don't know. Like Bethesda, please, if I'm right, please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. Just let them die. It's okay to have a villain die. I know you guys don't like that, but it's okay.
It's kind of the point.
Alrighty. Well, enough of our
Nope,
dating
we gotta
this.
go fight MacArthur now.
We'll go fight MacArthur with his XO1 power armor. I don't want to do that. I don't want to fight through the woods of Canada again, please.
See, and that's where, and I to stay on that topic for a second, when like spoiler alert, the last episode before this last one, the whole Canadian thing was like,
Oh yeah.
if you did not know anything about this game,
Like why
you
would
would
that
be
a
so
problem?
fucking lost. Like I remember the first time you see her passport, you're like,
Oh, that's weird.
okay, she's Canadian, great, cool. But they don't go into why that was significant. And then the last episode's like, oh yeah, Canadians totally hate fucking Americans, even though to the point that they're saying Americans are less than dirt. Don't worry about it, kill them.
You know, I know it's supposed to be the Foxhole episode, and we're making this a rant about Fallout. Frankly, I don't care. I want to add just a little bit more to that. Why is it a problem that she's a Canadian when in the lore of Fallout we have annexed Canada, meaning they're not Canadians anymore, they're American
Yeah,
territory
Americans.
slash
Yeah.
Americans. So why would it
Yeah.
be a big deal if she's a Canadian? It wouldn't, because she's an American citizen, or at the very
Yes
least,
and
she's an
no.
American territory.
Well,
See,
can I?
so Fallout.
Okay, go ahead.
So something I'm gonna add real quick here to this
Okay.
is Fallout treats Canadians like the U.S. treated Japanese people during World War II. They were in internment camps.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
sure,
right.
but like, okay, the next question is why would she even keep that on her?
That is a great follow-up question.
Like,
No fucking idea.
Like,
Well,
oh, hey
and-
guys, I have this file that says that I am the enemy of the people I'm working with. Let me just keep that in my house. Are you
Look,
stupid?
Did you guys see the last episode? I'm assuming everyone saw the last episode,
Not the
right?
finale, the
no.
one before. Wait, no, not the
Okay.
finale.
Well, no,
not the finale.
not the finale. The one before,
Yeah,
last
well,
Saturday.
Senator Head.
Yeah. Long story short, you know when the mom and the daughter are getting held by gunpoint
At
by
the
the
American border
T-40.
checkpoint,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, not the checkpoint. The
Like
mom
right
was
before
still like, yeah, right before it. And he goes, "All right, Housers or Hosers, you go back to the camp." And then all of a sudden, randomly out of the blue, you get a dude that's you get a Canadian that randomly blows himself up. And the ironic part about that whole scene is that the Canadian ended up killing her mom. It wasn't the American that killed her mom. It was the Canadian.
Honestly, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
That's really
it's the
funny.
Canadian fucking doing literally a jihad on the freaking American
That's
whatever
so
armor.
fucking funny,
Yeah,
actually.
no. So it wasn't even the American that shot her. It wasn't even the American that killed her. Now they do hint when they're running from the camp and everything. You start hearing like people getting, or you just hear gunshots,
Yeah, I gotcha.
right?
I gotcha.
But yeah, I thought that was very interesting because if the T4, if the guy in the armor, the Marine Corps was in the armor, was just shoot to kill, he would have just wiped them out right then and there,
Correct.
right? Correct.
All right.
But no, some random fucking Canadian jihadist comes out of the woods and blows them
You
all
can't
up.
just say that.
I just did.
All right. So last side note, and then we'll let you have your rant, my friend. I need to talk a little bit about a movie. All right.
Los Angeles is the
The
hub
movie.
of the Allied propaganda machine.
There's a movie I watched recently that I'm not going to talk a whole lot about. I'll make it quick. But I watched Iron Lung like yesterday. No, Wednesday.
Okay.
And
The voice
dude,
line's not accurate.
yeah, dude, that I'm gonna be real with you, Max. I don't know if we can like catch a movie on Sunday night if it's available, but we gotta go watch that movie, man.
Is it
I don't
good?
know if it's still
Dude,
rerunning. You have to double check your theater.
it was
All right,
really
check
good.
it.
Okay, so let me put it this way. I went to that movie with low expectations.
Okay.
Well, not really, because I went to that movie with high expectations because my buddy Alex at work told me, "Hey, my girlfriend watched that movie. I'm going to watch the movie tonight. I think it's really good. You should go watch it." And I went, "Okay. All right, Alex. I mean, your opinions have been typically pretty garbage, but you know what? It is the Markiplier movie. I didn't know it was coming out. I had no trailer information. I was going in completely blind."
Okay.
Then Lewis tells me it's really good. And I go,
Hey,
"Okay."
I also told you.
Oh.
And then
Okay.
Eli tells me, or Seeker, bleh, doesn't matter, whatever. We all fucking know each
We'll,
other's
we'll
names.
bleep it. We'll bleep it. It's fine. We'll
Oh
bleep
yeah,
it
you think
later.
I'm gonna put that much effort into this? Nah, man. Seeker here tells me it's really good. I'm like, okay, well, if Seeker tells me, and Lewis tells me, and Alex tells me, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll go spend like the $15. I'll go watch this movie. The first 10 minutes of it was me having to remind myself, okay, you can't like this movie because Markiplier's in it. You have to
Okay.
like this movie for its own merits, its own writing, and its own work. There's a
Okay.
scene towards the latter end of the movie where, so for context, there are three characters we really know about in this movie. There's Simon, who's our main character. Spoiler, I guess, technically speaking. And there's a lady who I forget her name right now, and there's a guy who I forget his name right now. But the guy is Troy Baker. Troy Baker. Troy Baker. I think that's what's his name from Last of Us, right? That's Joel. Let me
Or-
double check myself here
I'm
real
not
quick.
sure.
Wait, Troy
Troy
Are you the
Baker.
main actor?
No, not the main actor. He's
Oh, okay, my bad.
he is he's a side character. Yeah,
Okay.
he is Joel Miller from The Last of Us. He's Booker DeWitt from BioShock. He's Sam Drake from Uncharted. He's a really well-known voice actor.
Okay.
And he's only in there for maybe a total of 10 minutes. But man, he's so good. And the lady, again, I forget her name right now. She is fantastic. And there's a scene I'm talking about towards the later end of the movie where she is screaming and pleading, and you can feel every ounce of care and passion that she has for that role. That moment of
Okay.
her was that's why I remember her. She killed that part of the movie so well that I was like, holy moly, who is she? Like, this was fantastic. Like, I genuinely believed she was going to die. I genuinely believed that she was in danger. And I will admit that this movie, it's really hard to immerse me in anything from movies to games, but this movie immersed me completely. And it got to a point where I forgot it was Markiplier. Like, I was so convinced this was the convict, this was this guy. And it got me. It was really good.
Oh, so it's
So
kind of. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Seeker.
I was gonna say. So I'm somebody. When I saw the movie, I'm not a Markiplier guy. I never really watched a lot of
That's fair.
Markiplier's content. Um, and I will say I kind of came in with the expectation that I've heard that it's a good movie. It's a good suspense movie. I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna watch it, see how it is. I walked out of that theater like, holy shit.
Yeah, it unlocked a fear that I don't know how to explain to people. That movie left me with
Based
a
on a
fear.
video game.
Yeah, it's based on Iron Lung, the game. But it left
I
me.
never played Iron Lung.
Don't play it. Go watch the movie first, because honestly, having less knowledge of what it is makes the movie way better.
So,
As-
and just real quick, it says it's like it's of course space station, but like there's something about a ramsack submarine.
Yeah, don't worry. So
Okay, I know. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah.
it's good, man. It's good. We
Okay,
should go watch it Sunday if we can.
it
Anyways,
does. Yeah,
I
we
have
can
been
definitely.
holding off. I've been stopping Seeker this entire time. Seeker, the floor is yours. What the hell is the Airborne update?
All
Hold
right,
on. For Foxhole, right? For
Yes,
for
Foxhole.
yes, for
Foxhole.
Foxhole.
Yep.
So
What the
before
hell
we
is
get into
happening?
the whole air update, I'm gonna just do a quick overview of Foxhole.
Okay.
Nothing too complex, nothing too in depth.
I see all these photos. Nothing too complex. What are you talking
I,
about?
those are going to be flashed up on the screen for about we'll give it like 5 minutes so that way you can look at it and go, I really don't understand what I'm looking at, and then it goes away, you stop thinking about it. Um so Foxhole, for those that don't know it, it is a it's an MMO, not like an MMORPG, it's an MMO, so massive multiplayer. Um there's two factions and a world map. The world map is subdivided into hexagons, which is basically a server that connects to other servers that are next to it on the map. So kind of grid map, you can move between the two servers, or all the servers really, by just driving a truck. Um, Kind of like if you've played Borderlands, you'll know how there'll be kind of like these load zones you go through. Very similar to that. Um, in Foxhole, each one of those servers can hold 100 players from each faction. I think a little more now. I think it's closer to like 150 players from each faction. Um, Meaning you'll have 300 players in a single hex during like peak population time. And the whole point of Foxhole is a world conquest game. You Both factions are fighting over across this big map in these different little subzones to take 32 cities from each other. And the first faction to take 32 cities from the other faction wins. Major cities, I should say. Every little hexagon has like a little capital in it that you have to take. The thing that makes Foxhole really unique is it's a logistics-based war game. So while individually as a player, you will be playing as one little dude with your rifle and your ammo, another player will be the person that produces that, and that kind of has that second graphic down there for you, Mr. Wright. You'll have somebody gather raw materials, process them into more basic materials or more advanced materials, and then they'll be taken to an actual production building to be produced into particular items. Then they get distributed to the front lines. So every shirt does a respawn in Foxhole. So every respawn, every rifle, every clip or magazine you use is all manufactured by another player and brought up to the front by players. So it's a very
Okay,
manpower intensive game.
It's
you
a
say-
very Seeker. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead, Max, go ahead,
Yeah.
Max.
It's very important, right, Seeker, to be a team aspect game. This isn't like you just go into it and you just go. I mean, you could go into it and do whatever you want, but in the end, you work with your team. You're going to get a better gameplay out of it. Correct?
Yes, one soldier can be somewhat significant, but really what wins wars in Foxhole isn't individual soldiers, it's teams working together.
Yeah. Yep. Never ending war. Never ending war. Very good game. And hey, by the way, anyone that's listening, Seeker here is the OG at playing this game. He's
One
ranked
of them.
Colonel. He's been playing it. One of them. I'm sorry. He's been playing it for a long time. Honestly, you want to know everything about Foxhole, this is the man to hit up right here.
I will say, I'm a colonel, which is the in-game rank structure. That whole rank structure is actually going to be changing this update war.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're gonna change it based on their factions.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So now the So we'll just quickly cover the two factions here. There's the Warden faction. They live in the north, very icy cold. A lot of their designs are kind of a combination between French and German designs, kind of like merged together in an unholy union.
The one way.
And then you have the Colonials, which are typically in the south, and they're kind of a mix between Italian and Russian designs that have been welded together in somebody's shed.
Okay.
Um, and they're also very part of that being is the colonial faction here is getting a new rank structure that is going to be very Roman based. I think in the new update, my new rank is Centurion Prime, which is shortened down to Caprici.
Yo, my
Now,
sons are here.
Are you?
Nope, I'm not
Hey.
regretting that one. That's staying in.
I'm right. It's too late. It's on here. Hey, but Seeker, are you liking that? I mean, I kind of just like the old ranking system. What was wrong with just doing colonel, sergeant,
They just want more
lieutenant?
thematics. They want more flavor.
Is
I
it?
really don't. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the old system. I like the new system. So two things is if
Okay.
you're a newer player and you're looking at the new rank system, you can click on your rank and it gives you a drop down menu of every rank and where it's all like located of like, oh, this is like a regular enlisted. This is kind of like your middle officers, and these are like your high officers, which I'm not even in yet. As a Caprici or as a Centurion Prime or Caprici.
My Capri Sun.
Caprici. I'm sorry. We're just gonna start calling you Capri Sun. Capri Sun, what's up, man? You've been
I think of the
ranking up?
salad.
Oh, that also works too. Yeah.
I think of the Caprese
Okay, so-
salad, which is just it's mozzarella balls that are essentially just have like spearmint and balsamic vinegar drizzled over it.
Okay, so you have the
Yeah.
wardens, you have the colonials, you have bases and towns and forts, and you have each item other than like the actual big forts is built by a player, right? Every bunker, every trench, every truck, every shirt, mostly every gun, etc., right?
Yes, and I should also mention quickly here that when you spawn in, the only thing you're getting is a handgun, a couple mags, and a hammer.
It's what I said. Mostly
Everything
every
else
gun.
is player made. And additionally, something to note is both factions have, like I said, they don't just have unique identities. They also have unique equipment where the colonials might have something that does a thing. Wardens will have an equivalent to that, but it might do a slightly different
Can you,
thing, or it might do the same thing in a different way.
Can you give me 2 examples of this, like weaponry wise? Like what?
Yes,
Give me a
so
gun.
I will start off with just lowest level gun. Rifles. The colonials have a rifle called the Argenti. Real world equivalent would be like the M1 Grand. It is a semi-automatic firearm, so it boasts a good rate of fire, but the counteract that it has less accuracy and a lower rate of fire. Or not lower rate of fire. It has a lower range. Well, the Wardens have the Clancy rifle, which is a more traditional bolt-action rifle. By having a lower speed or a lower fire rate, it has the better range and better accuracy. So you're able to hit your targets a little more consistently if you're shooting at range. But like if you're in a CQC fight, the Colonials have the Argenti.
Right, you have the M1 Grand. It's not accurate, but I fire out like double the shots you can. Versus the I am 50 yards out and I'm popping off heads.
Yes. And that scales up through the entire game. For instance, kind of going up like one level, going into vehicles here, the Colonials have a tankette. The base variant has a 12.7 machine gun. It's open topped and it's very compact and tiny.
That's the T12,
And the
right?
Wardens, say again?
The T12 ticket, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, and what's the Warden one? Sorry.
And the
there it
Wardens
is.
have the Warden Scout Tank, which also has a machine gun, but it's closed up. It has a turret. It's a little bit chunkier and a little bit heavier. So we can kind of stay on front lines more. But the downsides is the Colonials get theirs out earlier and they're cheaper, but they're more maneuverable when it comes to actually getting them to certain places. They can climb over rocks and hills and things easier, but at the decreased, cost of being open topped and having a fixed front turret versus the Warden Kingspire, which is better if you're fighting on a road and you have that full 360-degree turret. So that way you can kind of, shoot multiple targets around you. You just, shoot one, you're able to actually rotate and fire on the other without having to rotate the whole vehicle every time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Tanks are a lot of fun. I have a good time with tanks.
Tanks are fun. Tanks are very
Yeah.
fun.
They take a lot of, but Seeker, the tanks and everything, and I know you're probably going to get airplanes eventually, but like all this takes teamwork and like not just one person is building a tank. You got like multiple people working on building tanks, armament, trucks, all this shit to keep your logistics alive, right?
Yep. So typically speaking, regiments will have one or two people that kind of work on building tanks and building them in mass. Using teamwork to kind of get that economy of scale going.
Yep.
But also, it's not impossible for individual people to build tanks. But something to note is vehicles are always required, or pretty much all crew too. Outside of trucks, you're always going to need a second person to be your gunner.
Yeah.
Also, as a quick little side note, a regiment, if I recall correctly, is like the in-game clans.
Yes, a regiment is a clan.
Because you said regiment without that sort of context, that might be a little important for people to know what the hell a regiment is.
Yes, and then above regiment you have coalitions, which are a collection of clans.
Yeah, a little less important, but yes.
Just in case I mention it later, of
that's fair.
coalitions being a thing. There's your lexicon there.
Okay, so that's Foxhole to an extent. I know there's more things. There's artillery. There's like armored cars. There's transports. I remember going on a party bus when I was playing the game for a while, which was just a guy on a. It was just a guy with like an open mic blaring music, and it was just going from the base to the front line, back to the base, back to the front. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think you may have met Frontline Tours.
I don't remember for sure. This was probably a year ago, so maybe.
That was probably Frontline Tours. That's kind of his thing.
It was hilarious, man. And then he decides to suicide off into the water with like a full pack of people. Luckily, I jumped out in time.
I love that game, dude. It is such, you can find some of the greatest cinematic shit in that game.
All right. Anyways, though, back to our main focus here.
Yeah. So back to the actual focus. Airborne.
Yes.
For planes. Before you get into plane, there's two different types of planes, I would say. Well, I guess really three. You have your scout plane, and I put the scout plane in its own category for a particular reason because it's the easiest for the most amount of people to access. Then you have your light planes, which are your dive bomber and your fighter for colonials. For wardens, you have two different fighter types and a torpedo bomber. And then you have your heavy planes, which are your paratrooper planes and your heavy bombers, which both factions have.
Gotcha.
Now, okay. Seeker, this is the new update. They just added planes, correct?
The new war starts literally in 3 days.
Yep. Yeah. The official war for the official update war is out in 3 days. Currently, there is live testing that I have been doing a lot with. I've been doing a lot of live testing, and they keep doing updates and changes to aircraft. We're kind of rebalancing them, fixing issues. About 40 minutes ago now, they just released a new patch, a new dev blog patch. It hasn't been pushed out into the live war yet, but of all the fixes that are coming in the next update here, probably either today or tomorrow, with probably some more changes in the next coming days before the actual war starts.
Okay.
So a lot of this can be subject to change when I start talking about like, oh, well, this thing can do this. Well, it'll probably be somewhat similar to what I'm saying now, but it may change depending on how the devs change the game.
I have a quick question. Are they going to be, and I don't know if this is going to be too soon yet, but are they going to be adding, because we have boats in Foxhole too, right?
There are aircraft
So
carriers, yes.
yep. So they're going to bring in the aircraft carriers with the new update as well.
Yes, so the new aircraft carriers are out for testing. They are not in the live war yet. Live war being the actual full update war that comes out and gets released on the 9th.
Yeah.
But I've been doing testing with the aircraft carrier.
How do you like it?
Figuring out how it works. I'll get more into my opinion about that later when we start talking about boats.
Copy. All right, cool.
But first aircraft that's up, and the reason why I put the scout plane in its own category is because it's a very easy and cheap plane to build. It takes 80 refined materials, which are something you gather from components, a little bit more rarer, a little scarcer than the basic building components. But as a solo player, this isn't something that's going to be too hard to get your hands on. And something to note, this plane isn't super powerful, and it's not super... it's spammable, yes, but like having a lot of them doesn't help you, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Scout planes have 2 weapons on them. Each faction scout plane has a machine gun. Little piddly machine gun. It's single 12.7. Will do okay damage against ground vehicles if you're strafing them. And can do okay damage against other aircraft, but it's not going to be great in that role particularly. The big advantage is you can fly high with it, and you can see a lot of stuff. Also doesn't move very fast, so if an enemy sees you and wants to shoot you out of the sky, they can probably catch you.
Shot out of the sky, buddy.
And then each plane has a secondary armament, and each armament is different for each faction. For the Colonials get a naval mine. The naval mine is airdropped.
You have airdropping naval mines. What the hell, dude?
Yeah,
This is the thing that was also done in World War II.
I do understand that. It's just funny to me.
Something to note is also these this equipment isn't really meant to be used against large ships. So a couple scout planes isn't really going to be a major threat to a destroyer. But a couple scout planes is going to be a pretty big threat to other smaller naval assets. So just keep that in mind when I'm talking about these. Is they're meant to hurt small boats, they're not meant to hurt big boats. The Colonial Naval Mine can do 2 kind of things. First of all, it's a mine. You can just drop it into the water from altitude. Very simple. Second thing is, you can just drop it directly on the enemy ship.
Wait, no way.
I got a couple of my guys from my clan, and we played a little game where we had a couple people in some of the new boats, and we had a couple of people in scout planes, and the people in the scout planes' job was to just drop bombs on people in the boats. And yeah, you can absolutely direct hit people with the boats. It takes roughly 3 naval mines being airdropped to kill the smaller boats.
So despite
They're
being
not
a scout
super
plane,
powerful.
you're a pseudo bomber, which is very funny to me.
A super naval bomber. You really can't
It's
use
so
the
funny.
you can't use the naval mine on land targets. It won't work. And I'll quickly touch on the Warden one here. The Wardens have mini torpedoes.
What's the Warden Scout? It just says it's just Warden Scout plane, I presume.
Yeah, Warden Scout plane.
So you did not give me a photo for that. Warden Scout.
I did not.
I got you right here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
You're also probably going to need the paratrooper and torpedo bomber. But
oh, that's right. They have the goofiest looking planes I've ever seen.
That's something to note is the colonial planes look very much like a kind of a mix between like U.S. and I would say kind of like German planes from World War II. Da Vinci's lab when it comes to the warring aircraft.
Why? Why do they look like this? Who did this to you?
Who did this to you, Foxhole Air Designer?
And you said it was the light bomber and what else? The fighter?
You'd need the torpedo bomber, the fighter, and the transport plane.
I think they just call it a bomber. Yeah, it's just a bomber. No, it's not.
No, you need a torpedo bomber because there is a difference.
Torpedo bomber.
So, like I was saying, the Warden reconnaissance plane has 2 mini torpedoes. It is actually fairly decent against larger ships. It's better than you would suspect, but it doesn't do too much damage. The main thing is when used in conjunction with with the torpedo bomber, can actually do some pretty good damage against large ships. But that's about the extent of what they do outside of strafing like trucks and stuff on roads. Very simple scout aircraft, not very tough. If a fighter shows up, every faction's fighter is faster than the scout plane and does more damage.
Gotcha. So you're not gonna be winning a dogfight.
You
No.
can dogfight other scout planes, but if somebody brings up a fighter, they're going to kick your teeth in.
Good to know.
That
And there's
sounds
a
about
good
right.
reason for this too. Like I said, scout planes are relatively cheap and easy to make. Um, this right. This is when you would use the top image when it comes to logistics. Um,
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Seeker. I'm just gonna have those two images, the facilities image and the resource gathering image, just on at all times. That's just gonna
okay,
stay on the screen as soon as we start this conversation.
gotcha. So the facility logistics. I'm not going to go super in depth on these. Um, you can kind of look at them and kind of figure out the gist. It doesn't cover like how much it costs and how much time it takes to make each resource. Um, just note that what you see which coming in is pretty much what you're going to get out most of the time. Um, Now, something to note is the small aircrafts. So this would be the torpedo bomber, dive bomber, and the fighter aircrafts.
Yeah.
For both factions, are all kind of done through facilities and kind of the lower level of facilities. They're on the lower end. Um, they do take some resources, and they take at least tier 2 facilities, which is the tier 2 tech for facilities. So eventually, like, think of like basic, intermediate, and advanced facilities. You need intermediate facilities to build fighter aircraft and dive bombers and torpedo bombers.
Gotcha.
Now, how it works is you take your resources and you build an airframe. Once you've built an airframe, then you build air parts.
And the airframe is
How?
the image we have of the plane with like a bunch of missing panel pieces, right?
Perfect, exactly.
And then we have
Yeah.
the air parts,
Um,
which is gonna be the things right next to it. I see it here. Okay.
Yep, and how it works is you have to submit those air parts to the aircraft itself to kind of finish assembly of it. Uh, Meaning building aircraft is more time consuming because it means you can't just put them in storage ready to take off right away. It means you have to put them away. You either have to completely deconstruct them or leave them out, which runs the risk of an enemy coming by and blowing it up.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit more risk reward of like, do I want fighters to be sitting on standby that like my team or my faction can use, or do I just want to put it away so that way I can save it in case an enemy comes and attacks?
These are fair concerns to say the least in the game of Foxhole.
These are very fair concerns.
You know, on a slight
Um,
side tangent, just very quickly, I'll make it quick. Um, there are things called partisans, which if you know real life war, it's going to be like troops behind your lines that shouldn't be there. I have done such a crew of like 4 of my buddies and I doing that. We will blow up your stuff. Don't do it. Carry on.
yeah, and we'll actually probably touch more on partisans when we get to the paratrooper planes.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
They're really fun. But just quick overview: fighters, very simple. It's a fighter aircraft. Little bit of difference between both factions. The colonial one has better performance. Um, the warden one gets an extra gun. They get an anti-tank gun
Oh yeah,
mounted to the bottom of the plane.
I should probably post a Warden fighter for Mad Max.
There you go.
Yeah, and the wardens also have an additional fighter of a sea fighter, which has very limited range, but can take off and land on water sources. Oh, that's something I should also mention is scout planes can take off and land on water sources.
Dude, the Warden's planes look so much different.
They're kind of goofy. They're pretty goofy.
They are goofy. They are goofy compared to like the Colonials.
But yeah, like I said, fighter pretty simple. It's there to take out other aircraft, and it's there to kind of like strafe lighter targets, kind of like the scout plane. Really,
Oh, say no
fighters are
more.
there to intercept bigger targets
My
or
bad.
provide cover for those bigger targets.
I was trying to find Sea Fighter when it's Warden. Sorry, I was trying to find Sea Fighter, but it's Seaplane on the
I'm
wiki.
sorry, I said sea fighter,
No, Sea
but yeah, it's
Fighter
a
is correct.
seaplane.
It is a Warden Sea Fighter. That is what it is called. But you look it up on the wiki, it's Warden Seaplane, and it's very funny to me.
The
Bro,
warden thing is
what?
it's so
Bro,
weird.
I can't. I'm gonna be real, man. I'm sorry, Warden players. You guys get the most goofy, odd design.
Dude,
Like, who hurt
yeah,
them?
yeah. Like I would literally drop Warden being a Warden player just because of this reason. Oh wow. Well, hey, you know what? At least you know you guys can look good getting shot down by the
Wait,
Colonials.
wait, 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 wait. Hold up. Sorry, I want to back up real quick. Going back to the Warden recon plane. Why is the propeller facing the wrong way?
Um, Great question. I know that it does work for aeronautics. I know that there was some aircraft in World War One
Okay,
that
okay.
did
So
that.
it actually there is historical evidence for such a thing to work. Okay, carry on.
Yes. Now, do I believe that would work on that particular fighter? No.
No.
All the propellers are way too small, except maybe the one for the Warden fighter.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, but small I can
Dude,
kind of be like, okay, sure, but like
I'm
when it's
sorry.
facing the wrong direction.
Don't worry, it'll get worse when we look at the Warden. I believe it's the transport plane. Also has reverse
I just
engines.
don't know why they went so goofy with the Warden stuff. Like the Warden Sea Fighter, like straight up makes no sense. Like that pontoon, you give it one pontoon. Technically, that thing would just fall over in the water as soon as it would get underpowered. As soon as it
Look,
goes
we don't.
slow, it would just fall over.
You're using a lot of like
I,
your brain for this. You should just go,
I
haha, funny plane.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just I look over at the Colonial one and it literally makes sense. It has two pontoons and it looks like a seaplane. The Warden one looks like it's out of a book of Dr. Seuss, quite literally.
All right, well let's
I
carry
mean,
on.
I don't think the
Let's
naval stripes are helping the seaplane.
Not at all.
let's give our boy some more time here. We can keep interrupting him. We gotta let him actually speak his
Oh,
mind because we're
it's
Lem-
quite
already like
alright.
50 minutes in.
well, let him
Uh,
cook. Let him
we'll just
cook.
keep going. Uh, so then after that, we have the Colonial Dive Bomber and Warden Torpedo Bomber. Colonial Dive Bomber is a little bit more multi-purpose and has one kind of big advantage. And I'll mention it now because it comes to boats a little bit here. But aircraft carriers, the Warden aircraft carrier. So the reason why the Wardens have a seaplane and the Colonials don't is because the Warden aircraft carrier um, has a catapult system that will launch seaplanes,
I'm
but
sorry.
those seaplanes can't land back on the carrier. They have to land in water, which makes takeoff and landing easier for a Warden seaplane, but it means that the Warden aircraft carrier, or more accurately, the Warden sea tender, um,
I'm
can't
sorry.
doesn't have the same naval capacity that the Colonial one does. The Colonial one is a much more conventional World War II style aircraft carrier, and it can launch regular fighters and regular dive bombers. So
Is
that's
it
one big
the
advantage that the Colonial dive bomber can do.
is it the Mercy class vehicle for the Wardens? What you're referring to for their carrier?
Yes, it is
Okay.
the Warden Mercy class.
I just want to post an image of that once again from Mad Max over here.
It's also goofy.
It's actually not as goofy as the other ones we've seen.
Kind of looks like a battleship with launchers on it. I mean,
It is
it's
in
not.
fact battleships with launchers.
Look, man,
Uh,
of all the goofy things we have seen thus far, this is not that bad.
It's just, I mean, for me, it's like the Colonials look so much better than the Wardens. I'm just kind of surprised. I'm just, for my own perspective, for my own opinion, for everyone out there, I started as a Warden, loved playing as a Warden, but as soon as Eli came out and showed me to the light, I play Colonial now. Everyone go to Colonial.
All right, what's the next plane, my friend?
So, Dive Bomber, just finish up real quick here. Dive Bomber also can bomb targets on land and sea.
Oh,
It has a
nice.
big armor piercing bomb. So it's not
Wait,
great against structures, but it can perform cast rolls against enemy vehicles and enemy ships. So go out,
Nice.
hit a ship, go home, because you don't want to stay around.
Restock, do it again.
Restock, do it again. The Wardens have a torpedo bomber. It launches 2 large torpedoes, and it can do quite a bit of damage. It's actually fairly, very strong. With the fact that it can put large holes into ships.
Hold up. I'm sorry.
Now,
I'm sorry.
it does look like the
God.
Gru plane from
Fuck.
Despicable Me.
Why is that
My
just the
God.
plane? I.
What the fuck is this shit?
Now, I do believe that is based off the Italian Italian transport plane of World War II.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up because
The what plane?
But do not underestimate the Gru plane here. It will absolutely tear. 2 or 3 of these will absolutely tear apart a destroyer in minutes, especially if they're able to hit multiple segments. Yep, there we go.
It is. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend the Italian one also isn't goofy odd looking, but damn, the Gru plane is that's definitely a thing.
Don't, dude. I fear the Gru plane.
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't fear the Gru plane. I'm simply saying it looks goofy.
Oh, it looks goofy as hell, but like you see this thing coming and you clench.
Alright, how many more planes are left, my friend? Because I
So
don't have a list.
now we get into the big planes.
oh my God.
And this is where the fun begins. Both factions have a paratrooper plane, and paratroopers can be used to drop partisans behind enemy lines. And when you paratroop, you get a 30-minute timer that starts as the second you're out the door, where you cannot be spotted by enemy intelligence.
Okay.
Enemy players can
Whoa.
still actively spot you, but enemy intelligence cannot spot you automatically.
Alright, very quickly, I'm gonna have to say, Wardens, I'm sorry, your paratrooper plane does look sick.
Okay, the paratrooper plane, I can definitely function with that.
Can
I
we
gotcha.
get a repost of the colonial one here?
Yep, I got it right
'Cause,
here.
yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
the main
the
difference
colonial one
in
looks so much
asymmetry when it comes to this is I believe the Warden plane can carry 2 extra paratroopers,
Some more partisans.
so it can get more partisans. But the colonial paratrooper plane can land on water, and you can't see it in this particular photo. The back has a ramp that deploys down for the paratroopers,
better.
which
So more guys
can
can get
allow
out
for
at
some
once, right?
shenanigans.
Yeah.
People have been doing things where they have been flying low enough to the ground where an infantryman can walk off the back of the plane and then stand on top of a structure.
That's really gross.
It is incredibly difficult though, and I don't think that's actually going to be like a major problem for the war because for pretty much like for every one guy that they get onto a roof, there's going to be about 5 other crashes that hit a tree
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
immediately
say,
blow up the airframe.
I don't think the amount of resources you're spending on these should be used to get a couple guys on a roof.
So it has some funkiness that you can do with it, but the cost for it is high if it does not go right.
Did we skip over the bombers, like the light bomber and heavy bomber?
So I'm going to cover the bombers last year because the Warden light bomber and the Colonial heavy bomber are the same bomber.
Wait, what? What do you mean they're the same bomber?
I will cover that in a moment
Okay,
here.
okay. Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
Oh,
But
I see what you're saying.
yeah, they fulfill the same purpose with a slightly different name. Colonial paratrooper plane. Like I said, I love it. Paratrooping is a lot of fun, and I expect to see when this war starts. As soon as paratrooper planes are out, I'm expecting to see backlines no longer be safe because a couple dudes can take equipment and just start running south or running north for whatever the respective faction is. And I will say one big advantage for the colonials is the colonial paratrooper plane can land in water.
Yeah.
So you can refuel it from the water and kind of extend the range of your paratrooper mission. because you need to kind of bring the planes back. They're very expensive because you have to use facilities to build them. Um, and those facilities take a lot of work and a lot of resources to produce the materials to actually build planes. So losing aircraft is something that you want to try to avoid most of the time. And something I didn't really cover, but I will cover really quickly here, is if an aircraft is if an aircraft is shot down or crashes, you can still recover those individual pieces off the aircraft and the airframe itself. So launching recovery missions for aircraft is definitely a thing. Additionally, you also want to do it for the pilot because the uniforms that pilots are required to wear to fly these aircraft are very expensive. So going out and picking up your guys is an important mission to do.
Gotcha.
And then last but not least, we have our bombers. The Wardens and Colonials the Wardens have a quote-unquote light bomber, and Wardens have a quote-unquote light bomber. Colonials have a quote-unquote heavy bomber. They're both heavy bombers. The only reason I can tell that the Warden bomber is considered a quote-unquote light bomber is it carries 3 less bombs and has a
1 less gun.
unfinished fuselage.
Yeah, I see.
If you look at the back of the aircraft,
is the armor gonna be the exact same on these?
yes, they functionally they operate the exact same.
Odd.
Very odd. Don't know why there's the difference between the light and heavy, but whatever.
So let's go ahead then, with that being all discussed. Time for the questions that I have prepared for you.
Yes.
The first one I'm gonna ask you is, Foxhole has a quote unquote meta to it, and by meta we simply mean what is the best weapons to get the job done. What do you personally see Airborne doing to shake that up? Obviously paratroopers we've discussed, but do you think the bombers, do you think the fighters, do you think the Navy stuff, like the naval bombers, will actually have an effect on the game, or do you think it's going to be kind of just some will do it, it might be okay?
So it's going to be kind of a mixed bag, and it does kind of vary on the aircraft. For the actual dedicated bombers, those are going to be very effective against cities, but against well-built bunkers and bunker lines, they're going to be They're going to be much less effective.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the problem we're having anyways right now with Warden and Colonial tanks having to be used to take out bunkers, and even then, it's not really good at it.
Yes.
But hey,
bombers can affect the frontline bunkers, but backline bunkers that are well built are still going to be hard to crack with bombers.
That's something we didn't discuss. What is the range on these planes? How many hexes can they
go? They recently did fuel efficiency changes, and I could be wrong about this because I'm kind of working a little bit on older numbers because they might have tweaked it again.
They just changed it literally an hour ago before we started doing this.
Yes, I don't think there were fuel changes in that last update here, but from what I know is a fighter aircraft can go 6 hexes in one direction. And that is, you're probably ditching it in a field. But
okay.
You probably want to go only 5 if you're only going in one direction. Let's say you're going from a backline airport to a frontline airport. 5 hexes is probably going to be your range.
Gotcha.
If you're going to be dogfighting things, you're probably going to want to keep it to 2 to 3 at most. It's going to very much limit how much time you have to fight with. And like I said, that's for the fighters. I think the Colonial Paratrooper plane, I haven't tested the Warden one. I think the Colonial Paratrooper plane can go out 4 hexes and come back.
But the range is multiple hexes, though, which I think is a very important point. These are hex long ranges, not 1 or 2, but 3 to 4.
Yes, and there is some things with how the fuel consumption works, where they've modified it to be the slower you're traveling. Let's say I throttle down to 100 knots, right? My max speed might be 150, but if I throttle down to just 100 knots, I burn fuel more slowly, and that can actually travel a further distance.
Yeah, but we'll just say it's a half a hex to a whole hex more, right? Like we'll just say that for the sake of argument here.
Yes, but something to note is you don't always want to be traveling at max speed to preserve fuel, which can then also cause you to be intercepted, more likely to be
Yeah, because
intercepted.
now you're going slower, and now we can just catch up to you, or even catch you coming. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the first question, was about how do you think the meta will be shifted. It'll be shifted a little bit. They'll be better for taking out city stuff, but for the most part,
Uh,
we'll see.
Colonials have an advantage because they have a cast aircraft where the Wardens currently do not. But Wardens are going to have a big advantage when it comes to defending against naval assets, so against boats with their torpedo bomber.
Gotcha. Okay, the next question I have for you is dogfights. Now, for those who don't know, Foxhole's aiming system with massive quotation marks on that is not the most, how do we say, easy to pull off. There'll be
What would you call
times,
that aiming? What would you call that aiming system? Sorry for interrupting you, Mister
I
Wright.
mean, it's asymmetric is like the best way to put it.
Okay.
It's like top down, like I'm not sure how else to describe it. Would you have a better description for it, Seeker?
Top down is accurate. Less accurate twin stick shooter.
Yeah, and like there are some times where you have your cursor over a guy and you'll have him in a bunker or like in a trench and you'll see his head. Your cursor will be on his head, but your shot will go into the ground or above him or to the left of him. And that's just part of the fact that we play Colonial, our rifles aren't accurate, etc. But it can be
Well,
very
there's also
frustrating.
secondary concerns about that too. Which I'll talk on a little bit mechanical wise, is when you're shooting at something that's, if they're not just out in the open, there is cover benefits in Foxhole.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're shooting at someone that's behind a wall, even if you're not shooting at the wall and you're shooting at the guy's head that's above the wall, um, the shot might just miss because he has cover.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So, how is that going to work for aircraft? Are they going to have like their own kind of aiming system? Is it finicky? Is it good?
It's a bit finicky. I've done a couple dogfights. My first dogfight actually ended up with both me and my opponent wrapping our planes around trees.
Oh, okay. That's about what I expected. I'm gonna be honest.
Um, but I have gotten better from there. That was my first dogfight. Um, so something to note is when you are in an aircraft, you have a little bar that goes from the ground to the center of your aircraft. And that is something that helps you indicate how high you are and how high something is below you. So you can kind of get it to give you a general range of how high is this thing, right, that I'm looking at. Is this aircraft in front of me higher than me, lower than me, or are we kind of equal? Um, so that kind of helps when it comes to aiming. Aiming, you hold right click and left click. While you're aiming, the plane kind of will follow your mouse cursor. So you don't really have to like fly the plane too much, as more you're just aiming at the target. You kind of let the plane autopilot to the target that you're trying to shoot at.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. That makes things
Um,
a little bit easier.
it does make things a little bit easier, but also if you're still trying to fly at the same time, you're going to be fighting the controls and things are going to get shaky and weird.
Thus the finickiness you're speaking of.
Yes. Um, and planes can move really fast. The colonial fighter plane just got a buff to increase its speed, so it can now go to 160 knots.
I'm gonna sit here and
Which
pretend I can equate that to a number that makes sense to me.
roughly think like, so in Foxhole, it takes roughly 5 minutes to drive from one end of the map to the other end to
Yes,
cross into a new region.
I'm aware of this. We did that a lot.
A, a plane at max speed, the colonial fighter plane at max speed, can cross the region in I think it's like 45 seconds. I don't even think it's a
Oh, I'm
full minute.
fast. Okay, they're really fast.
They're really, really fast.
Gotcha. All right. So dogfights may not be just a pipe dream. They may actually be a cool thing we get to do, which I like that because I think dogfighting is one of the coolest things about aircraft. Now,
Something I did is me and our guys, we were testing something out. Warrens had constructed a bunker base with a storm cannon, which is like a 300 millimeter giant artillery
it's a
piece.
fuck you gun.
It's a fuck you gun. and we took out 3 bombers, and we had a fighter escort, and we actually went and we flew over and we bombed the target. We didn't destroy it. A couple of reasons why.
But you're able to do that.
Due to math, but we were able to do that and test it out. Um, and we got QRF'd by fighters, a lot of fighters. My aircraft that I was flying one of the bombers. We had 5 enemy fighters shooting at us.
Gotcha.
And something to note is aircraft take dynamic damage. So if you target a certain area of the aircraft, you can destroy that area of the aircraft.
You're breaking parts like Monster Hunter. Hell yeah.
Yep, so I had my tail shot off, I had holes in my right wing, my left engine was dead.
You didn't make it home, did you?
We did not make it home. We ended up in the drink.
All right, so then speaking of like those kinds of situations, right? With air transports in particular, you have paratrooping. Can you airdrop like a crate of supplies?
So the devs have changed this. Previously, to paratroop, you have to have a paratrooper's backpack,
Yeah.
and then you have your rest of your inventory. If you weigh more than a certain amount indicated on your inventory screen,
Play no
your
go.
parachute doesn't deploy, you fall off, you die. Now, there was a way that you could have abused this previously. The devs have patched this out, where instead of just paratrooping onto the plane, instead you load yourself up with a bunch of goodies, and then you suicide your way off the back of the plane.
To give everybody else their stuff.
The devs have patched this, where now if you fall from too great of a distance while holding items, the items are despawned.
Gotcha. So there's not really a way to airdrop from so far.
So far.
Okay.
However, if you remember what I talked about with the colonial plane,
Yeah.
occasionally getting that one guy onto a roof,
It's not going to be impossible, just not going to be very easy.
yes. And the Warren plane can do it too. It's just the Warren plane has a much, much more difficult time because it has to deal with side doors versus the singular back door.
The final question I personally have, for those who don't know, I'm not sure if Max even knows, there is what I like to call AI. So AI is a term we use for certain defenses where there's not a player there, it is a programmed AI to shoot enemies or whatever it is programmed to do for that fortification. Is there aircraft AI yet? Like, is there going to be anti-aircraft AI specifically?
So there's not currently aircraft AI. What there is currently in the game is there's something called an EMG, or an encamped machine gun. It has 2 fire modes: shoot people on the ground, and then you can press Shift F, and it lets you look up into the sky and shoot at aircraft that are coming
This
in.
is the Sarah, it looks like?
Yes. I
And
believe
this is
that one's the Warden EMG, if I remember correctly.
Well, I'll just use the Sarah for sake of argument here. So we have
They both work the same. They just look different. Oh, that one's actually the colonial one. But yes.
So we have the version of it where it's shooting things in front of it, and then we have the anti-aircraft version of it where it's pointed up in the air.
Yes.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
it's meant to shoot at low-flying aircraft. Aircraft that are going in for
It's like the
strafing
CAS, yeah.
runs. Yeah, shoot at CAS aircraft, right? Not really meant for shooting high-altitude stuff.
That's gonna be the
They
fighters.
added in this update Flak AA, which is also player-manned. Previously, it worked like artillery, but due to issues with actually it being able to hit anything realistically, they changed it. So now it's a more direct fire. It has a minimum range of 40 meters. So you can't shoot at anything that's below 40 meters in the air.
Is that
but-
gonna be the Zeal and the Bolus? It looks like. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, boss. I
Yes.
know to say something. I want to post.
Oh, you're
images of
good.
them. Yo, the Bolus looks like something I would see out of Guns of Icarus, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, they're also very strong. They've been modified to be more. They're now more point and click, whereas they used to be very artillery. Like I said, minimum altitude is 40 meters, so you have to shoot at something that's above 40 meters in the air. And they have spread, so when you click and fire, there's not a guarantee that your shot is going to hit exactly where you fired at.
Gotcha.
The shell's going to spread a bit. Now, they hit very hard. Is something to note.
They are anti-aircraft.
There are anti-aircraft guns. And for example of how big the spread is on one of these things, a buddy of mine was in the Colonial Zeal aircraft gun, fired it at a truck at point blank range, so barrel touching the vehicle. I was standing behind the aircraft gun, and I died to its shrapnel damage.
Gotcha.
So it's got some range on the shells, and those shells are very powerful. It one shot the truck, no problem. Um, two good hits on a heavy bomber wing will just completely tear the wing off. So one hit
Gotcha.
will fill it with holes. A second hit on that wing will just tear it off, and the plane will come plummeting out of the sky.
It sounds awesome. I really cannot wait for this war to start in a couple days.
It'd be fun, dude.
I guess the last thing I want to say is any questions from you, Mad Max, about this update, or any questions about Foxhole?
No, I mean, as we've been going, I think everything. I mean, of course, Seekers pretty much covered everything that I believe that everyone would be really interested in. Uh, yeah, I mean, play the game, get involved with people like Seeker, and you'll have a great time.
All right.
By yourself, I've played by myself.
Just
Play
play Frontline.
Logi.
Just
If
play.
you don't
Yeah.
know, yeah, if you really don't know what to do, play Logi, play Frontline, and bring material to the front. Some way or the other, you're gonna get into some action and just have a blast. It's an awesome game.
I think we had one more talking point, Seeker, and that was imbalance, I believe.
Yes. So something I'll just quickly touch on
Yeah.
is Foxhole's balancing can be a pendulum. Right now,
Yeah.
Colonial's got a bunch of new equipment that's really cool, and Colonial's really needed. And that's going to bring Colonials kind of more in line to where the Wardens have been for a little bit here. But it's going to keep changing. The balance is going to keep changing for multiple reasons. Colonials might have something that is the equivalent to a Warden thing, but it's done in such a weird and different way. It's not fun or easy to use. So like, oh well, the Wardens have a heavy tank destroyer that has a 68 millimeter gun, and it's a fixed front gun, and it's heavily armored. Well, the Colonials have something very similar to that, but it's not heavily armored, it's lightly armored, and it's designed in such a way where if it gets shot in the front, the engine block is in the front of the vehicle, so you get disabled very easily.
What's the Colonial tank destroyer called?
The LTD, Light Tank Destroyer.
The Pelikes?
That should be it, yeah.
Why is it open topped?
Yeah, so remember how I said, like, because even though both factions may have something that are the quote unquote the same, they operate in a different way because of the asymmetry of Foxhole that makes one of these vehicles a lot more fun to play in versus the other one.
Yeah, that looks. I don't like open topped vehicles. Oh, it's the
The
Widow. Oh, it's the Widow. That's what they're called. So
Yeah,
I
so
was just
like I
playing
was
Foxhole
mentioning,
recently.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the Warden Tank Destroyer is fucking dope. I love it. It
it's
reminds me.
a good tank. I've been to a couple of them because I play primarily Colonials. Don't always have the opportunity. I either have to get them captured or a seaport has to get destroyed and rebuilt on the Colonials, and we can get them from there. Um, so I don't usually get an opportunity to play on the Widow tank, but it's a very strong tank. The main difference is the Colonial. I believe the Warren one is a high velocity 68, so it does even more damage versus the Colonial one. And the Colonial one pretty much just has extra movement speed.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It reminds me, the Warden one reminds me of a Stug, and the
Ooh.
Colonial one reminds me of the United States Armored Transport Artillery Vehicle. What was it called? Anyways, they're both cool. It's just that I'm partial to the Wardens just because of the Stug. I love the Stug tank.
But yeah, there's Foxhole has imbalance with this where sometimes a faction will have a worse version of the thing that will immediately fill the role but won't do it as well or won't do it in a way that is fun to play. And another example I'd make with the current update is the new Warden carrier, the Mercy, and the new Colonial carrier. I think it's called the Poseidon. I think the Poseidon's the submarine.
Besides the submarine.
Hey, Seeker, can you use any of these aircraft guns for infantry, or are they specifically just
Oh
for
yeah,
aircraft?
No, we were
you
just
can, you can
discussing.
absolutely dumpster
Yeah,
infantry with
we were
them.
just discussing how Seeker and his crew shot a truck at point blank with it. You 100% can.
That's fucking awesome. They're cool. All right. Awesome.
Well, my friend.
They also added new ships, but those are a lot more minor ships. Those look to be fun, but they're probably not going to be in the main spotlight for considering the new update here.
What was the?
Oh no, it is the Poseidon. Poseidon is the name.
What was the silly looking Warden, like almost a U-boat, but not a U-boat? Oh, the light boat. It's the Warden light boat. I do want to post that one because I want us to put a spotlight on it and flash "We are poles." 'Cause that's how small and pathetic this ship looks.
Oh, and here's that aircraft carrier for you.
I already have a photo of that one, my friend.
Oh,
Oh, a different one?
Oh no,
what
no,
in
this is the
God's name?
colonial. This is
the colonial one. So remember I
Yeah.
said this is a conventional
Holy moly.
World War II carrier, and this is kind of the thing with Foxhole Imbalance is the Wardens have a sea tender plane that's technically an aircraft carrier, and then the colonials just have the aircraft carrier. This is the aircraft carrier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that thing is sick.
Well, my friends, it's been a good
You can
hour.
also do some
We did a lot of
goofy stuff
rambling.
with it.
Is there anything else we should talk about, Seeker, before we call this good?
I want to bring up one Poseidon fun fact before we go here.
And that's the transport aircraft carrier for the Wardens, right?
That's the Mercy is the Warden one. The Poseidon's the colonial one.
Okay, gotcha. It's the okay.
So you can see, of course, it has a large hangar deck. How much deck space do you think you need to take off one of those aircraft?
I'm gonna say either the absolute edge of it or like halfway.
What if I told you it's actually neither of those? You can take off sideways.
Huh?
There's enough with the colonial fighter.
Oh, because it moves so
Can
fast.
get
You
enough
lift.
speed where you can get enough lift because the deck is high enough off the water
You can just-
that you have a little bit of extra time that gets you enough speed. So if you wanted to, you could launch like 7 of
rapid
these
deploy,
things
like,
off the
7.
side.
That's cool.
That's so sick.
Yeah. So there you go. That's how we'll end the episode.
Well,
The,
and it
the
was
funny.
some good laughs.
I tell you what, I'm really digging the colonial aircraft carrier, though. That thing looks sexy.
Well, my friends, we are Team Colonial this war. I might be Team Warden next war, but for now,
Oh, how dare you,
it's
you
been
trading
fun.
son of a bitch!
Oh God.
For
I just looked
context,
at my client's officer chat and I just saw 330 new messages.
before I finish this joke, this is a joke that we used to make because we used to play a board game called Secret Hitler. You used to call me Hitler all the damn time. Of course I'm
You
a traitor.
fascist! You fascist!
It's funny that you mentioned that because we played 2 games of Secret Hitler in my Foxhole clan, and both games our clan leader was Hitler.
All right.
Awesome.
Before this gets any worse, let's call this good, shall we?
What do you mean? It could always get worse.
Nah, I'm stopping you right there. You guys have a good one, all right?
All right,
Till
you
next
too,
time.
Have a good one, guys.